Hello dear students in grade 6. Today we are going to start in concept 2.1, theme 2, concept 1, lesson 1 with the title The Transfer of Thermal Energy. But when I started the lesson, I want to ask you a question. What is the relation between the change in the thermal energy, the temperature, and also the movement of the particles in a matter? When you heat a substance, so it started to change from a solid state into a liquid state due to the transfer of thermal energy to its particles. So when their particles gain this thermal energy, it started to move faster, which means that it causes increases in the movement of its particles and also increases in its temperature. We have a process here called glass blowing. Glass blowing is a process of manufacturing different shapes or forms of glass when we expose the glass into a high temperature. So it started to change from a solid state into a liquid state, or we can say the molten glass. And when it reaches to the molten state, we can hollow it or blow in it by using the hollow tube as we see in the picture to form different forms or different shapes of the glassware. And after blowing in it by using the hollow tube from one of its ends, we can leave it until it cools. So finally we can use these different shapes or forms of the glass. This is the meaning of the glass blowing. The second part of the lesson talks about the difference between atom, molecule, and also the thermal energy. So what's meant by the atom? It is the building unit, actually the smallest building unit of the matter. While molecules, it's a group of atoms which bonded or combined together to form the substance. Also the thermal energy, it is the transfer of heat between the particles of an object, or we can say the movement of it. So what's meant by the thermal energy? First, any matter has a thermal energy. Any matter, when it gains an energy, it started to move, but it's completely different according to its state. So the thermal energy, it is the movement of particles of an object. If I want to compare between the states of matter, solid, liquid, and gas, I will compare between them according to shapes, volumes, movement of particles, the thermal energy that they have, and also examples for each state. Starting with the solid, they have fixed shape and also fixed volumes. They move in their positions, move a little bit. So because the forces that bond between these molecules is very strong. So they started to move, or we can say vibrate in their motion. So they have the least thermal energy, such as ice, book, a chair. Any solid substance that has fixed shape and volume has the least thermal energy and also move a little bit, or we can say they move around their positions, or we can say the verb vibrate. But in a liquid state, they have fixed volume but variable shape. So when you pour the water or any liquid substance in a bottle or in the cup, they take the shape of its container. What about their movement? I can say that they move faster than the solid but slower than the gases. So they have moderate thermal energy, such as water, oil, juice, any liquid substance had these properties. Then we have the gases, or we can say the gaseous matter, that have variable shape and also variable volume. They take the shape and the volume of its container. Their molecules are not held together well, so they move very freely. And because this reason, they have the highest thermal energy, or the most thermal energy, such as steam, oxygen, hydrogen. Even the other gases have the same properties. So if I want to compare between the states of matter, I have to compare between them according to shape, volume, movement of particles, thermal energy that they have, and also examples. That's for lesson 1. Let's answer some questions in the booklet about lesson 1 as we always do. May I ask you about the glass blowing? What happens if The state of glass when it's heated at a very high temperature. What will happen when you expose the glass when in a solid state to a very high temperature? What will happen? Excellent. It will change into liquid state, or I can say it will change into molten glass, which is the liquid state. In the next question, put true or false. Let's see. Glass can be melted at very low temperature. Of course not. So it will be false. Actually at high temperature. Number 2, thermal energy of particles of matter increases when it's heated. Of course, yes. When the thermal energy transferred to the particles of the matter, it started to move faster, so it changes from solid to liquid, or even from liquid to gas according to its state. Number 3, the solid state of matter, it changes when it's heated. Of course, yes. Number 4, glass blowing is a process to form glassware using the hollow cube. It's false because it's not cube, but it's a hollow tube. So be focused about the words like this. That's for lesson 1. So today we talked about what? We talked about how that the thermal energy, temperature and movement of particles are related to each other. Then we talked about the meaning of the glass blowing and how can we form different forms of the glassware. Then we said the difference between atom, molecules, thermal energy, and finally we compared between the 3 states of matter according to shape, volume, movement of particles, and also the examples. I wish you that you understood the lesson well. Wish you a happy day and bye bye.